Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or struggled to recall a name that's right there on the tip of your tongue? Don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, I had one of those moments just this morning when I misplaced my reading glasses, only to find them perched on my head. But here's the good news: those little slips don't have to become the norm as we get older. Today, we're going to talk about how to keep your mind sharp, engaged, and full of life long after 65. Now, you might have heard people say, "Oh, it's just part of getting older," but I'm here to tell you that's not the whole story. Yes, our brains change with time, but that doesn't mean we have to settle for fading memories or foggy thinking. Science shows that simple, everyday habits can make a world of difference in protecting and even boosting our cognitive health. So, whether you're looking to stay sharp for crossword puzzles, remember your grandkids' birthdays, or just feel more present in your day-to-day life, this video is for you. Let's dive into 5 brain-boosting habits that are easier than you might think. First up, let's talk about something you're already doing right now: using your brain. But not just passively, just challenging it. Habit number 1, stay mentally active. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets a little, rusty. But the more you engage it with new, stimulating activities, the stronger it becomes. Now, this doesn't mean you need to enroll in a quantum physics class, unless that's your thing. It's about finding small, enjoyable ways to keep those neurons firing. For example, puzzles like crosswords or Sudoku are fantastic. So is reading a book that makes you think, learning a few phrases of a new language, or even picking up a hobby you've never tried before, like painting or gardening. Let me share a story. My friend Margaret took up watercolor painting at 72. At first, she said her hands shook, and the colors bled everywhere. But within a few months, not only was she creating beautiful art, but she also noticed she could recall details better, like the names of flowers she painted or the dates of family events. That's because learning something new builds connections in the brain. So, what's something you've always wanted to try? Maybe it's playing the piano, writing poetry, or even mastering your smartphone camera. Whatever it is, give it a go. Your brain will thank you. Now, let's move to habit number 2, and this one might surprise you: get moving. Yes, physical exercise isn't just for your heart or joints, it's a powerhouse for your brain, too. When you move your body, you increase blood flow to your brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that help keep it healthy. Even better, exercise triggers the release of chemicals called growth factors, little helpers that promote the survival of brain cells. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. A brisk 30-minute walk most days of the week can work wonders. If joints are a concern, try swimming, tai chi, or even chair yoga. My neighbor, Roy, swears by his daily gardening workouts. He says pulling weeds and planting seedlings counts as squats and stretching. The key is consistency. Find something you enjoy and make it part of your routine. And here's a pro tip: pair your activity with a friend. Not only does it make exercise more fun, but social interaction is also great for the brain, which, as you'll see, ties into another habit we'll talk about later. Now, before we move on, let me address the elephant in the room. What if I've never been active, or what if my body can't handle much? Start small. Even 5 minutes a day is a victory. Over time, you'll build stamina, and so will your brain. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself, one step at a time. All right, we've covered 2 powerful habits: challenging your mind and moving your body. But there's another game changer that starts right in your kitchen, and it's not what you might expect. You know, when I said the next game changer starts in your kitchen, I wasn't kidding. Let's talk about habit number 3, feeding your brain the good stuff. Now, I'm not here to push a fad diet or tell you to give up your favorite foods. This is about adding in some delicious, brain-loving choices that'll make a real difference. Think of it like giving your car premium fuel. It just runs smoother, right? Here's the scoop: your brain thrives on nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and certain vitamins. And guess what? You can find all of these in everyday foods. Take berries, for example. Those little blueberries in your freezer? They're packed with antioxidants that help protect your brain from wear and tear. Then there's leafy greens, spinach, kale, even that parsley hiding in your fridge. They're loaded with folate and vitamin K, which studies link to slower cognitive decline. And don't forget fatty fish like salmon or sardines. They're rich in omega-3s, which are like a spa day for your brain cells. Now, I'll let you in on a secret. My husband, Frank, used to joke that eating healthy meant sacrificing flavor. Then I started adding walnuts and cinnamon to his morning oatmeal, and now he's the one reminding me to stock up on almonds. It's all about small swaps. Next time you're at the store, grab a bag of mixed nuts instead of chips. Or toss a handful of spinach into your scrambled eggs. These tweaks add up, and your taste buds and brain will notice. Which brings me to habit number 4, staying connected. And no, I'm not just talking about Wi-Fi. I mean real, heartfelt connections with the people around you. Laughter over a cup of coffee, sharing stories with a friend, even a phone call with your grandkids. These moments aren't just good for the soul, they're essential for your brain. Here's why. Social interaction stimulates multiple parts of your brain at once: listening, responding, empathizing. It's like a full brain workout. But here's the catch. It's easy to let those connections slip as life slows down. Maybe you've lost touch with old coworkers, or your family lives far away. That's why it's worth being intentional. Join a book club, volunteer at the library, or even strike up a conversation with someone at the park. My friend Clara joined a weekly gardening group after her husband passed, and she says those mornings digging in the dirt and sharing tips with her new friends kept her mind sharper than any crossword puzzle. And if getting out feels tough, start small. Invite a neighbor over for tea. Or if you're tech savvy, try a video call with family. My grandson taught me how to send emoji texts last year, though I still can't figure out why anyone needs a dancing eggplant. The point is, every conversation, every shared moment, builds resilience in your brain. It's like depositing coins into a savings account for your cognitive health. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm just not a social butterfly? That's okay. Quality matters more than quantity. Even 1 or 2 close relationships can make a world of difference. Remember, it's not about being the life of the party, it's about feeling seen, heard, and valued. And that's something we all deserve, at any age. Before we wrap up today, there's one more habit I want to touch on, one that's often overlooked but so powerful. It's about giving your brain the rest it needs to thrive. You know, there's something truly magical about a quiet moment in the garden. The way the breeze rustles the leaves, the birds chattering softly, it's like the world itself is taking a deep breath. And that brings us to our final habit, one that's as vital as it is peaceful: prioritizing restful sleep. Now, I'm not just talking about any sleep. I mean the kind that leaves you feeling refreshed, like you've hit the reset button for your brain. Let me ask you this: have you ever spent a night tossing and turning, only to feel foggy and forgetful the next day? That's no coincidence. While we sleep, our brains are busy sorting memories, clearing out clutter, and repairing cells. It's like a nightly tune-up. But as we age, sleep patterns can change. Maybe you wake up more often, or find it harder to drift off. The good news? A few simple tweaks can make a big difference. Take my cousin, Edna. She used to joke that she'd become a professional insomniac after 70. But then she started dimming the lights an hour before bed, swapping her evening coffee for chamomile tea, and reading instead of scrolling on her tablet. Within a week, she was sleeping through the night, and suddenly, she could recall her grandkids' school events without writing them down. The lesson? Small changes matter. Try keeping a consistent bedtime, making your bedroom a screen-free zone, or listening to calming music. And if your mind races at night, keep a notepad by your bed to jot down thoughts. It's like giving your worries a curfew. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We've talked about challenging your mind, moving your body, nourishing yourself with brain-loving foods, staying socially connected, and, of course, prioritizing rest. Together, these habits aren't just a checklist, they're a recipe for a fuller, brighter life. And the best part? You don't need to overhaul your routine overnight. Start with one habit, maybe a daily walk or adding blueberries to your breakfast, and let it grow from there. I'll leave you with this: aging is inevitable, but how we experience it isn't set in stone. Your brain is capable of remarkable things at any age. So whether you're painting your first watercolor, reconnecting with an old friend, or simply savoring a good night's sleep, remember, you're not just passing time. You're investing in a sharper, more vibrant you. Before we say goodbye, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you'll try this week? Share it in the comments below. We're all in this together. And if you found this video helpful, pass it along to a friend or family member. After all, everyone deserves to feel their best, no matter their age. Thank you for spending this time with me. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss tips for living joyfully and healthily after 60. Until next time, keep shining, keep exploring, and keep embracing all the wonderful possibilities ahead. Here's to your brightest years yet to come.